it. Screen is visible? Screen is visible, students?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so in the module 3, what we have learnt till yesterday is we have learnt how to do the analysis of a pre-stressed concrete beam, right? Analysis means we learned how to find the moment carrying capacity of a pre-stressed beam, okay, for the given parameters, okay. So there is one more part of this model, that is design of the beam, okay. We have to learn the design, how to do the design of a PSC beam, okay. Till now what we have learnt is we have learnt about analysis of the beam, finding its moment of resistance of a beam, okay, that we have learnt. Now we learn how to design a beam, okay. So when it comes to the design of a PSC beam, you don't have a detailed design, very simple design, okay, very simple design. You have just designing the cross section, okay, predicting the cross section of the beam, like width and depth of the beam. If it is a flange section, predicting the dimensions of the flange, web, okay, overall depth, effective depth, and finding the area of the pre-stressing steel, okay. That is only the part of the design which you have for your syllabus, okay. There is no any detailed design like check for share, okay. All those things, detailed design will not be there, okay. Very simple designs are there, that we will do, okay. One or two standard designs are there. I think 2 to 3 standard designs are there, that if you practice, then that will be more than enough for your examinations, okay. So before going to start the actual design, I will discuss the theory part. Okay, let us see how to design a beam. Okay, whether it may be the rectangular beam or it may be the flanged beam. Flanged beam, it may be either it may be the T beam or I beam, or it may be the T section or the I section. Okay. Now let us see the brief procedure to design a beam. Okay. The starting one is the design of the rectangular beam. Okay. So here the moment will be given, okay. Moment with which the beam has to be designed will be given in the problem, okay. For the given moment you need to design the section, means you need to decide what should be the sectional dimension of the section, and you need to design what should be the area of the pre-stressing steel required for the section, okay. In case of analysis, what was there he used to give all the parameters. He used to give sectional dimensions, he used to give area of the pre-stressing steel. He used to ask what is the moment carrying capacity. Here it is reverse, okay. Here it is reverse. The moment will be given. For the given moment you need to decide what should be the cross section, what should be the area of the pre-stressing steel, okay. So here I have given some guidelines to design a rectangular beam, okay. Uh, as in case of RCC, here also we have to follow the same principle to design a beam, okay. I think all of you are familiar with this particular formula, right? This is given in page number 96 of IS 456. I think number of times you have utilized this formula for the design of a beam, okay. For your examination, this code book will not be allowed, okay, will not be allowed. Here what will be done is, based on the same principle, whatever we have follow for the RCC design, we here also will do the design of a PSC beam. Okay, so we have the moment carrying capacity of a rectangular beam which is given in the code book. Here what we have to do is, we have to do some assumptions. Okay, we have to do some standard assumptions. Based on that assumptions, we need to design the beam. Okay, here I have made one assumption. Okay, the depth of neutral axis is assumed as, okay, the depth of neutral axis is assumed as half of the overall effective depth, half of the effective depth. Okay, depth of neutral axis is assumed as half of the effective depth. Then if you assume depth of neutral axis as half of the effective depth, then XU limit divided by D becomes 0.5. If you substitute XU limit by D is equal to 0.5 in this formula, okay, in this formula, after simplification, the final formula what you get is mu is equal to 0.14 FCK BD square. Okay, so while doing the design, you no need to write or no need to remember this formula, you just remember this one. Okay, remember this one, but the thing is, you need to assume depth of the neutral axis as 0.5 times effective depth. Okay, you need to assume depth of the neutral axis as 0.5 times effective depth. Assuming that, directly take this formula, m is equal to 0.14 FCK BD square. Okay, taking this formula, we will decide width of the beam and depth of the beam. Again this width of the beam is selected based on the total effective depth, that I will discuss in detail while solving a problem. Okay, just to remember these two conditions. Okay, this XU is equal to 0.5 D and moment is equal to 0.14 FCK BD square. Okay, if you remember these two things, you will be able to design a beam. Okay, then coming to the design of a flanged section. Okay, design of a flanged section like T section or the I section. Here also we need to make some basic assumptions. Okay, assumptions for choosing the height of the flange or depth of the flange, assumption for choosing the width of the web. Okay, so the some assumptions we need to make, then we need to perform the design. Okay, this for height of the flange. Okay, the height of the flange means our depth of the flange, this one. Okay, depth of the flange or height of the flange is taken as 0.2 0.25 times the D, means 20 to 25% of effective depth is considered as depth of the flange or height of the flange. Okay, we will assume 20 to 25% or 0.2 to 0.25 times effective depth as height of the flange. And coming to the width of the web. Okay, width of the web usually it is taken as 0.2 to 0.3 times. It is not D, it is B. Make a correction. I'll make a correction here. It is B. Okay, width of the web is chosen based on the width of the flange. Okay, this width of the flange, how it is chosen? It is chosen as 0.2 to 0.3 times B. Okay, this width. Width of the web is chosen as 20 to 30% of width of the flange. Okay, and similarly, if we choose these dimensions, HF by D is equal to 0.2 to 0.25 and BW by B is equal to 0.2 to 0.3. Again, for flange section in the same page number 96 of the IS 456-2000 code book, he has given moment formula for a flange section. In that formula, if you substitute these conditions, okay, like you substituted the XU by D is equal to 0.5 in this formula, you got this final formula. Similarly, if you substitute these conditions, HF by D is equal to 0.2 to 0.25 or BW by B is equal to 0.2 to 0.3, if you substitute in that moment formula of the flange section, which is given in the page number 96 of the IS 456, the final formula, okay, the final moment carrying capacity formula you will get from 0.08 FCK BD square to 0.12 FCK BD square. So for design purpose, if you are able to remember this range, this formula, that is enough. Okay, no need to remember the detailed formula. Okay, just remember these two formulae. Okay, or the range you remember, it varies from 0.08 to 0.12. You can take 0.10 also, average value also you can take, no problem. Okay, and remember these conditions, how the height of the flange or depth of the flange is selected, how the width of the web is selected, that you remember, that is more than enough for design of the section. Okay, so this is about brief brief idea on how the beam will be designed, whether it may be a rectangular beam or the flanged beam. Okay, so with this we will solve 2 to 3 standard problems. Okay, in your examination the same kind of problems will come. Okay, these are the standard problems, you understand clearly. Okay, you write a problem number 1. All of you write problem number 1. Just write the problem. I am going to solve it. Done? Over?
Sir. Yes, sir.
Sumit.
So just go through the problem. A pre-tensioned, pre-stressed concrete beam of rectangular section. Okay, it is a pre-tensioned beam. Okay, here also we are going to use the table. Okay, pre-tension means table 11. Okay, we need to use table 11. A pre-tensioned, pre-stressed concrete beam of rectangular section is required to support a design ultimate moment of 100 kilonewton meter. Okay, we have to design a beam so as to resist a moment of 100 kilonewton meter. Okay, we have to design the section by taking grade of concrete as 50 Newton per mm square and grade of steel, okay, grade of tendons, okay, or grade of pre-stressing steel as 1600 Newton per mm square. Okay, this is the data given. Solution. As I said, first we have to assume the depth of neutral axis, that we will assume xu by d, assuming xu by d is equal to how much? I told 0.5. Depth of neutral axis we will assume 50% of the effective depth. Okay, if you assume the depth of neutral axis 0.5 d, then the formula will be mu is equal to 0.14 fck bd square. Therefore mu is equal to, write that formula, 0.14 fck bd square. Okay, now this width of the beam, okay, width of the beam, we will assume it as, assuming width of the beam is equal to half of effective depth, 0.5 d. Okay, depth of neutral axis and width of the beam both are assumed as half of the effective depth. Okay, so this mu becomes, mu is equal to 0.45 fck, b is 0.5 d into d square. Okay, now mu is equal to 0.45 fck into 0.5 d cube. The ultimate moment of resistance for which the beam has to be designed is given in the problem. It is 100 kilonewton meter. It is 100 kilonewton meter, 100 into 10 power 6 Newton millimeter. Okay, and grade of concrete is given in the problem. It is 50 Newton per mm square. 50 Newton per mm square. Now you substitute fck and mu, you will get effective depth required. Therefore 100 into 10 power 6 is equal to 0.45 into 50 into 0.5 d cube. Okay, so d cube is equal to how much?
Sir, D is equals to 207.14.
D is equal to how much?
207.14.
Oh, okay. So here mu is equal to 0.14. No, it is, you change it 0.14. If you take 0.14, tell me the answer. .14. What D you will get? No?
305.7.
Yes, 305.7. D is equal to 305.7 mm. Okay. So effective depth required is 305.7 mm. So for practical implementation of the section, we have to choose some round figure, right? We have to choose some round figure. You can choose around 300 mm. Okay. Therefore, take D is equal to 300 mm. Okay. Actually, we should not choose less than that required value. But as there is only 5 mm difference, I am choosing it as 300 mm as a standard depth. Okay. You can also go for 320 mm, no problem. You can also go for 320 mm. Okay. Now you got effective depth required. If you know effective depth required, you can calculate what will be the width of the beam. Okay. Width of the beam we have assumed it as half of the effective depth. Therefore B is equal to 0.5D. B is equal to 0.5 into 300. Therefore, B is equal to 150 mm.
150 mm.
Yes. Okay. Now we got sectional dimensions. Okay, sectional dimensions means we got what should be the width of the beam, what should be the effective depth of the beam. We got sectional dimensions. What next? Or we have to find one more parameter. What should be the area of the pre-stressing steel to be provided for the beam? Okay, one part of the design is over. Next part is to find the area of pre-stressing steel required. Okay, area of pre-stressing steel required. To find area of pre-stressing steel required, again we have to use this formula. Okay, again we have to use the formula which is given in page number 59. Okay, using this formula we need to find AP. Effective depth is known. Okay, and XU also we have assumed it as 0.5 times D. Only the thing is we need to find FPU, right? We need to find FPU. To find that FPU, we will use this table number 11. We will use table number 11 and we will find the FPU. Okay, we know the XU by D value. Let me write here. From IS 1343 1980 table 11 for XU by D is equal to 0.5. Okay, this we have assumed XU by D is equal to 0.5. We have assumed for XU by D is equal to 0.5. You find corresponding FPU divided by 0.87 FP. Okay, so I will go to the table. XU by D for pre-tensioned beam. Okay, XU by D for pre-tensioned beam, how much we have selected? We have selected it as 0.5. We have selected it as 0.5. 0.5 means where it will come around, it will come between 0.435 and 0.542. Okay, but we want the corresponding FPU by 0.87 FP value. Okay, corresponding to the XU by D is equal to 0.5. So what will be the value here? See, for 0.435, for XU by D is equal to 0.435, value is 1. If XU by D is equal to 0.542, value is 1. What will be the value for 0.5? XU by D is equal to 0.5. How much? See, for XU by D is equal to 0.435, corresponding FPU by 0.87 FP is equal to 1. Okay, is equal to 1. For XU by D is equal to 0.542, value is 1 here. We need the value for 0.5. What will be the value then?
1.
Sir,
1 only. Okay, 1 only. Therefore, you directly write it as 1 here. 1. Okay. Therefore, FPU is equal to, you take this to the RHS, 0.87 FP. Okay. FP is equal to 0.87 FP. Now, we know that I'll copy this formula. M is equal to FP into AP into D minus 0.40 XU. M is equal to FPU into AP into D minus 0.42 XU. See here, we don't know the value of FPU. For that, what we have done is we have formulated the equation for FPU in terms of FP. This FP is given in the problem. Okay. Therefore, M is equal to 0.87 FP, that is FPU value, into AP into D minus 0.42 XU. Okay. The moment is known, moment is given. It is given as 100 kilonewton meter. M is equal to 100 into 10 power 6 Newton millimeter. Then the FP is given. How much it is given? FP, it is 1600 Newton per mm square. 1600 Newton per mm square. Then effective depth, it is calculated. Effective depth is equal to 300 mm. We have chosen effective depth. And XU value is also known. That is XU by D is equal to 0.5 we have assumed. Therefore, XU is equal to 0.5 D, that is 0.5 into 300, that is 150 mm. Okay. Now substitute everything. Only the area pre-stressing steel is unknown. Okay, only the area pre-stressing steel is unknown. Calculate it. Therefore, M is equal to 100 into 10 power 6 is equal to 0.87 into 1600 into AP is unknown into D is 300 minus 0.42 into 150. By this you will get area of pre-stressing steel required.
303.11.
Yes, 303.11 mm square is the area pre-stressing steel required. Okay, so we came to know about what is the section to be adopted and what should be the area of pre-stressing steel incorporated into the section. Okay, this completes the design. That's it. Okay, therefore adopt a section of, so B is equal to 150 mm into 300 mm section with 300 mm. I will round it up to 300. Okay, with 300 mm square of high tensile steel with effective depth depth D is equal to 300 mm. Okay. So effective depth is 300 mm. Here overall depth we can effective depth is 300 mm. If you choose, you have to give some cover, right? Assuming around 50 mm cover, here you write overall depth better. Okay, instead of writing the effective depth. So if you assume 50 mm cover, the overall depth of the beam will be how much? Around 350 mm, right? 350 mm. So adapter section of 150 into 350 mm with area of pre-stressing steel 300 mm square and effective depth of 300 mm. Okay, you write a figure. Okay, you write a figure. Okay, so overall depth D is equal to 350 mm okay, and width of the beam B is equal to 150 mm and area of pre-stressing steel, here I mention it. See, no need to choose what should be the diameter of the pre-stressing steel, what should be the number of the pre-stressing steel, just you find the area of pre-stressing steel, you mention it here in the figure, that is enough. Okay, effective depth is 50 mm. Effective depth D here cover is 50 mm. And effective depth D is equal to 300 mm. Okay, so here you write area of pre-stressing steel. AP required is 300 mm square. Okay, finally after choosing the structural dimensions, after finding the area of pre-stressing steel required, you need to write a diagram like this. Okay, any doubts here in this problem, students? If you have any doubts, you can ask.
No, sir.
Okay. Okay, the second problem we'll do it in the next class. Take the attendance.